Welcome to the 310 to Left podcast as we come to our first edition after the season. Tom Caron along with Alex Spear and the manager of the Boston Red Sox, Alex Cora. We're supposed to be talking about game one here. We're supposed to be talking about the play. We are doing that. You're right about that. Keeping an eye on that. Just when it hits. Like you've known, realistically we've known for a little bit, but until you're out of it, you're not out of it. You got to play every day. That's been a few days now. But when you wake up this morning and know it's over, how does that hit you? How have you learned to deal with that over the years of doing this?
Obviously, have to deal with it as a player, so that helps, right? Like you got to turn the page and attack the offseason the right way. As a manager, it takes a while because now you're just looking at numbers, looking at players, situations that happen, what we can do better, not only on the field, in the dugout, in the clubhouse, training room, strength and conditioning-wise, nutrition. So a lot of meetings, a lot. But, when I get back home, I'll probably leave Friday and then, drop the kids at school and then have time to actually go through the season. And, probably it takes a few days to turn the page. One thing for sure, having a conversation with Ramon today, 81 wins, not too many people thought that was going to happen, right? There was a lot of people that grew up this season, us as a staff too, having to deal with all these young players. And I think at the end, we are who we are, and I think honestly, this is the last time we're going to be talking in this tone. I think from next year on, it should be fun.
In terms of those exit meetings, any that were particularly fun or exciting, does someone go full Rudy, throw their jersey on the table, and say get you fired up about the product?
There's a lot of good conversations, and I think a lot of those guys in there, they understand what we went through this year and what we are about to see in the future, especially the pitchers. You talk to Cutter, Tanner, and Bello, and the tone is a lot different from last year. They're looking forward for the offseason for obvious reasons, reset in the next few weeks and then attack it the right way, understanding that, I just, started 30 games in the big leagues, and if you look at their numbers, they were okay, right? There's more in there. They understand that, but now kind of they can talk to guys and explaining how you have to do it, right? For you to be successful at this level, this is what it takes. And it was good position player-wise, of course, talking to Sedan, Willie, kind of hey, man, this is a grind. It's real. We got to attack the offseason the right way, especially Sedan. You can't play at this level at 120 pounds.
So, Sam Kennedy isn't going to tell us what the payroll is for next year. Greg Breslow's not going. But come on, now we're just sitting down. It's just the three of us. I mean, when you signed the extension with the Red Sox, you weren't just signing to get paid well, but kudos to you. You were. I assume that you had conversations with them about the future direction of the organization beyond 2024. What were you told that made you say, all in?
Like I said, throughout the negotiations, it was about taking care of the family, of course, but also to stay or be in a place that the most important thing is winning, right? Winning at this level. And we had a taste in 18, 21 was cool, but the rest of them have been, tough seasons. And we're going to do everything possible to improve, the product on the field. And I think the days of, playing 500 or below 500, shooting for 80 whatever wins are in the past. I think talking about the third wild card, it's great. You make it to the playoffs, but we got to shoot higher. I said it during the season. You got to get greedy, right? And with the tone of Sam and Craig and obviously ownership, they convinced me that, we expect to win. We're going to do everything possible to accomplish that. How? There's different ways, right? And I think you hear them, you see what happened this year, and it gives me confidence that we're going to do this.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, the ownership part of it, because there is kind of a narrative with a lot of fans they've got other interests now, right? There's Liverpool and there's Pittsburgh and there's golf and there's but you talk to these guys. Has it changed? Are they still as invested in this and invested in winning as they were?
still get texts in 1 in the morning. Great job. Let's keep going. They're locked in. John, he listens a lot. Because the other day he texted me. He's like, "You've been saying all season long that we have to make contact. We have to be better at that." I'm like, okay, yeah. Tom the same way. Mike, he's involved. So no doubt about it. You're not here if you don't want to win, right? One thing for sure, we have to be patient. It seems like the new generation of the Red Sox fans, they're not too patient because obviously 04, 07, 13, 18. But we're going through a process. We're in a good place. We're in a better place than last year at this time. And that gives me hope that we're going to turn the corner.
All right, let's follow John's thread here, then contact. Let's talk about contact. Because in a world where bat speed is king, and that's registered, by a guy in a lab without a ball coming at him, how do you balance that? How do you get your guys in 2025, like you seem to do in stretches here in 2024, but maybe not for the whole season, to buy into what's best for the team in some at-bats, not necessarily what's best for your overall numbers individually?
It's interesting because since 2019, we as a group, we talk about 25, 30 at-bats for the team, and the rest are yours, and those are the men at third, less than 2 outs. You run into the situation, play 25 times or 30 times. Most of them, the game is 7-0. Some of them are, 1-0, 0-0 games, right? Close games. So, there has to be a balance. I do believe just watching, this 8th inning right now with the Braves and the Mets, they put them on play. And you know what happened? One scored 6 runs and the other one scored 5 or whatever it was. The line has to move, and there were a lot of strikeouts, a lot of 3 pitches strikeouts. I think we led the league on that, just battle, and it starts in spring training, starting the offseason. Actually, Peter, he talked to the players, you have to compete. Your training environment has to be a tough one, that you fail, and then when you go to the season, it's going to be easier. But you have to talk about it. As teammates, as players, coaches, we have to talk about it. Men at third, less than 2 out, but no one play. We did a good job, actually, but we ran into a stretch here the last month and a half that it was too much, and it started with Rafi. He was banged up, so, it was hard to see, but, we pushed him to play. And obviously T.O. went through his stretch. Willie went through his stretch. It seems like everybody was struggling at the same time with the same pitch. We have to solve the problem of the four-seamer. We have to, and it's not a secret, everybody knows it, right? So how are we going to cover that pitch? How are we going to cover the fastball that you don't hit? That's what's going to happen. This plays, the spin plays, whatever, but at the end, it's where you go with the fastball. And for me, it's, thinking as a hitter, I'm going to get cutters now, because I was able to cover the four-seamer. So in the offseason, I have to learn how to hit that one. And if you don't hit sinkers, you know what? Hit sinkers in the offseason. So try to solve the problem, and hopefully next year we are a lot better.
It is interesting to think about the problem solving and about the competitive training environments, because a couple of your key hitters ended up banged up this year, with both Rafi and Masataka Yoshida having shoulder issues. Are you concerned that there's, as you try to push guys to address, Rafi had a lot of work to do on the four-seamers. How concerned are you that some of the training environments also subject your guys to injuries?
You got to be careful, right? You got to make sure that machine keeps running, and the way it should be, right? Because you will get a change-up out of the four-seam machine. It's part of it. So, it happens everywhere. We're pushing these guys to do things that they haven't done in their lives. I still believe that the biggest problem we have as an industry is that the off-season is getting shorter and shorter, right? We're talking about plans. We're talking about the engine. You got to get stronger, whatever, and this starts now, right? I remember the days of, hop on a plane, go to the Caribbean, have fun with the family, and then work out, right? That's done. We have probably guys, not here, but in the industry, that probably they're flying to Seattle right now to throw bullpens in drive line, right, to get their assessment and then get ready for the off season. And this is what we're going to do. It's nonstop, and this is what is going on. And this is a conversation we had it before. It's from youth baseball, it's a problem we have not only in this sport, I think every sport, right? So, yeah, we got to be very careful.
So strikeout rate is one area that you flagged, as well as right-handed as well as right-handed power. What are the other areas of like rostered efficiency that you'd really like to see, bolstered? Obviously, in both in training with the guys who are coming back, but also where you'd like to see the team adding.
Health will be great. Having your shortstop for the whole season is going to be great, and you never know. But at the same time, we cannot use that as an excuse, right? Like Trevor was out, but we were right there in the hunt, right? We were, at one point, in the wild card, right? So just challenge these guys, defensively. I think that's something that the last few years we've been talking about it. We have changed our training environment, and it hasn't worked. Is it the personnel? Maybe, but there were 11 second basemen, I think, probably more, that play second base for us this year. Same thing as shortstop. A lot of moving parts. Versatility is great. I love it. I love the fact that Sedan can play center, right, second, short, third, and be really good about it. But Sedan in center field for 150 games is going to help us, right? Trevor Story playing 145 games at shortstop obviously is going to help us. He's going to help us, and he's going to help the third baseman too. We talked about it last year, right? So just keep talking about it. It's a mindset too. Defense is a mindset. I think Willie did an outstanding job the last month of the season. When he was struggling offensively, he played that right field better than the first 5 months, and he was outstanding. Defensively, he's the best right field in big leagues. But that mentality, like, I'm not getting mine, you're not getting yours, that's the mentality, right? Like, if you're not getting hits, take away hits, and he did. So we have to keep preaching. The same way we talk about it, like, if you're not hitting, what you do? You hit, right? You show up to the ballpark and you hit. We did it at one point during the season. Like, we were struggling defensively. We showed up to take ground balls. That's how it works. And I think it's a mindset. We've been talking for 3 years, man. It's been tough. The manager hates it because he made his living playing defense. I played 13 years in the big leagues because I play defense, and I get it. They're going to struggle. We're here to help them, support them, and hopefully next year we're better. I don't know, man. They're good. They're talented. There's no age limit here, and there's no kind of like requirements of experience, right? The only thing is that the gap between the minor leagues and the big leagues is the biggest in the history of the game, to be honest with you. Not only the competition, but the structure, right? Now you play 6 games in the same city. You stay in the same hotel. You got the Monday off, and then probably a scheduled off day during the week for relievers. You pitch Tuesday, you pitch Friday. The mental grind of it, you don't have to deal with it. Here, when you're in that bullpen, you might be down, but all of a sudden it's an extra inning game and you have to pitch. So mentally, you have to be locked in, right? So we'll see what happens. We have a lot of talent. Not only those 4 guys, there's more there. Guys that had great seasons in AAAs that they're going to be part of the mix next year, but thinking back about Rafaela, that was eye-opening. That was amazing, right? And I know he's not satisfied with the way it ended, but we made sure, like, hey, man, hold on. It was a great season. That we have to be better, of course. But I think it starts with the engine. It starts with the mental aspect, and he's going to be okay.
You mentioned